Hey gamers, if you like huge world-building campaign games, then you want to check out Stonesaga. After a little while playing, I can't say that I have seen everything in this game. I don't even know if I would say that I've seen most things that this game has. This game is huge. There's so much stuff in the rulebook, plus the edit codex that you're going to be reading through as certain things are triggered throughout the game. And there's just so much to learn. There's so many different actions and different ways to explore things that are on the board. I don't have too much of the stuff actually set up to avoid a little bit of spoiling future things. But I started out with just the tutorial, which is an interesting way to learn the game, I think. It's a huge rulebook. It's like 100 and something pages. So if you are somebody who prefers to kind of learn as you play, it'll kind of introduce concepts to you one at a time and say, okay, now read this section, now read this section. For me, that's a little bit hard to kind of grasp, only learning one thing at a time, but at the same time, trying to read that entire rulebook all at once and retain all that information is also difficult. If you're somebody who doesn't like reading rules or just can't hold on to tons of different concepts before starting a game, then this might be something that is hard for you to get into. You definitely have to have at least one person who's playing to be like a real rules guide, really understanding all of the different actions and concepts and what you're going to be doing throughout the game, and being able to explain that to the other players who are playing and really help them out with getting through all those actions. There are some reference cards for kind of the overall flow of the game, the costs of some actions, but it doesn't kind of break down all of the different pieces of the different actions. And there's also not a lot of reference for like exactly what materials and stuff are. That's all like found in all of the different rule books, codexes. So again, just a lot of heavy lifting to even get into the game. So again, if you are somebody who doesn't like a lot of rules, a lot of front loading, then this probably won't be for you. If you are somebody who's kind of like a lifestyle gamer and likes to spend a ton of time on a single game, hours and hours over and over again, like day after day, then this is something that I can see you getting really into. You are starting out with making a character, rolling dice to kind of put into your traits. So you're going to have like might for fighting and dexterity and conviction and awareness. So you're going to have all different stats, and those are going to come into play as you're progressing through the story. You might have to fight a predator, or you might have to jump to safety or something like that with different stats. So that's really cool that you're going to be building your character who's going to start out with some traits. Is also going to start out young and kind of get older as the story progresses. You're going to gain new traits as the story progresses, which again, as keywords and things come up throughout the story, it'll say, if you have this trait, you get a plus to your roll, or maybe you get a minus to your roll, which I think is really interesting because you're really going to be like becoming that character as you play, which again is really, really interesting. If you're somebody who really likes that lore and that character kind of taking on that persona, little bit of RPG-ish, but you don't necessarily have to like become that character entirely, but it's got a little bit of that aspect in it if you're somebody who likes that. Again, this is really mostly my first impressions after being able to play it for just a little while, because again, it's just so much to dive into. I would think it would take me probably months with the way that I play things and the way that I do things to even like have a full grasp of the game. But in general, looking at it from a first glance, first perspective, there's a lot of cool things going on. Particularly, I liked being able to explore new tiles and kind of see what's out there. The mystery thing was kind of cool for me. But again, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to spoil too much. So I think that if you are somebody who likes a campaign game, likes a good story, likes really getting into their character and building that out and making decisions as well, sometimes you'll be presented with a choice of like, hey, do we want to like get ready for winter, or do we want to kind of keep exploring? Do we want to take the fish that we got from going fishing, or do we want to see what else we might have found while we were in the lake? Things like that. You are presented with choices throughout the game, which I also think can be cool and can really change things for each different like group that's playing it. I might have found an item in my first game that another player might never find because they didn't make the same choice that I made. So I think that there's a lot of that branching narrative that people are going to have very different experiences when they're playing the game, which I also think is really cool. But if you're somebody who, like I said, likes a lot of fun loading, doesn't mind a lot of rules, and really just likes that big epic world building, then this might be something that you'd want to check out. You can see my full thoughts on the blog today, and I'll also provide some links for some more information so that you can learn a little bit more about the game and see if this one's for you.